everyone, Knightenator here, and I'm here to provide you with this week's Old School RuneScape weekly recap. Last week we saw the introduction of the Activity Advisor and the updates to Emir's Arena for PvP players. This week, the Jagex team have been focused on enhancing official client features to give you the smoothest and most immersive gaming experience possible, alongside the long-anticipated launch date for Raid 3 Tombs of a Mascot. There's also some nice quality of life changes that we'll touch on after that. There has been a lot of excitement in the Old School RuneScape community this week, as we have now got a date for Raid 3 Tombs of a Mascot. It has been announced that Raid 3 will be joining us on Wednesday, August 24th. It is set in the Carillion Desert and it has been highly anticipated since the announcement in 2021, but we now have a confirmed date. This should give you plenty of time to complete the new Beneath Cursed Sands quest in time for the release. For more information on the requirements for Raids 3, check out the official Old School RuneScape blog post or the Old School RuneScape wiki. Let's talk about the updates to the official client. The devs have been busy adding some features to the official client. They'll now be working on C++, meaning that Steam and mobile players can rejoice. There's two new main features that are going to be dropping this week. Get ready to clue your heart out with the brand new Clue Scroll Helper. This handy new tool will give you everything you need to know in order to solve your clues in the fastest way possible. All types of clues feature within this helper, including anagrams, coordinates, ciphers, cryptics, emotes, fairy rings, follow the bard, hot colds, maps, music, and skill challenges. When interacting with a clue scroll, the helper will appear on the left-hand side and give you instruction on how you can complete that step with all the relevant information needed. You'll be given directions in terms of hint arrows in world, on the minimap, and by opening up the world map. During your clue scroll completion, the clue scroll helper will also display what items you will need during your current step and will mark if you have them or if they're in a previously built stash unit. And if you still want a bit of mystery, within the settings you'll be able to turn off the helper completely or just the hint arrows as part of the clue scroll solver, as well as many other settings including world map markers, menu highlight, and more. The helper will automatically disappear if the current clue scroll is removed from your inventory too. Next up, we've got NPC Indicators. You can now highlight NPC click regions and their names to give you a better understanding of where to click to interact with your desired NPC. When this option is on, the NPC you have selected or hovered over will highlight the specific NPC and have their name displayed above them. Also, NPCs will now have two new right-click options. Tag this NPC, which highlights that specific NPC, or tag all, which will highlight all NPCs in the area similar to the NPCs selected. You'll also have options whether just the NPC is highlighted, the tile the NPC is standing on is highlighted, or both, alongside color options for your selections. This feature is off by default and can be changed at any time from within the settings menu. At this moment, NPC indicators are only available on the official Steam client, but fingers crossed they come and join us on mobile soon. If you missed it in our previous mobile new client launch and next steps, we let you know that we're giving you a little bonus of updates with today's update in the form of some of the most popular activity helpers. For any missing helpers, they'll be coming in a future update, which we hope to share more details with you in the near future. But for now, let's see what you can get your hands on. Blast Furnace Helper. With this, you can enable a highlighter which highlights things that the player interacts with, such as the conveyor belt and broken blast furnace parts, as well as a helper which displays information such as the things you have in the melting pot and dispenser and the amount of money you have in the coffer. The cannon hut, you can now see how long until your cannon breaks, how many cannonballs you have in your cannon shown on your cannon and in the buff bar, as well as notifications for when you're low or out of cannonballs. I've said the word cannon so many times, I'm pretty sure it's not a real word now. Herbivore Helper. This helper highlights the herbivore's footprints as well as the scenery which you interact with to find more tracks or the little cheeky herbivore itself. Hunter Trap Timers. These timers will now give you an indication of when your traps are going to despawn. And Tears of Guthix timers. This will show you different coloured timers for the currently active veins and what effect they have on the player. Blue to add tears or green to steer clear. The team have also been busy on a few other little changes to help improve your gameplay. The first of which being water skins. Those of you who haven't upgraded to the Circlet of Water yet, the numbers of water skin users have been added to the buff bar. And as a little extra, they are now also in the process of making tooltips across the game when using the C++ client consistent and display exactly the same way. You now have the option to toggle seeing the icons on the minimap icons at the most zoom level so that you can see what's in the wider area around you. And agility course highlights are now cleared when the player dies and after 5 minutes of inactivity. And for mobile users, the team have been busy with some fixes, so I'm going to pop those on the screen now, so take a look. We also have some general game quality of life updates as well, such as the blast furnace is now a safe zone on PvP worlds due to the occasional incidents of luring around its bank chest. And a couple of crates have been deleted from the middle floor of the tower in Hasidius. Players had previously been stuck on a single tile on that floor, which disrupted PvP combat there. And on the Deadman world, the Ardoin task for the casting ice barrage in Castle Wars can now be completed by entering the Castle Wars lobby with the quest and skill requirements satisfied. Alongside that, some grammar has been corrected on the guards in the Ham Cave. For Ultimate Iron players, any unclaimed Chambers of Xeric reward items may now be dropped outside the chambers rather than being put in the private storage, as Ultimate Iron men can't use the private storage. On PvP Arena worlds, when outside of combat areas, the trade option is replaced with a loadouts option. Players can use this right-click option on another player, which will open a menu that shows the selected player's 3 loadouts. From here, you can copy their loadout over to yours, replacing your current loadout preset. In other PvP Arena news, we've rebalanced the grouping algorithm to help the less common ranks find matches. And now it's time for the PvP World Rota. The PvP Rota has moved to Period B. World 390, which is Australian for LMS competitive, has been deactivated with this rota. We will now be including the current PvP Arena rotation within this section of the weekly game update news post from now on. And the PvP Arena will now use max/med loadouts in ranked duels and tournaments this week. And that's it from me for this week's Old School RuneScape weekly recap. I am so excited to be involved in this project, and I'm also very excited for Raid 3. Let me know down in the comments if you are prepared, if you are ready, if you've got the requirements. I'm Knightenator, and if you want to find me on the internet, I'll put my details on the screen now. And make sure you keep an eye on the Old School RuneScape YouTube channel for the next week's weekly recap, where you'll be joined by Only Trails. I'll see you guys next time.